Hey, what's going on YouTube? Lionel here. And I'm going to attempt to do a few videos today. I don't know. Maybe I'll condense them into two videos. Um, that is my phone. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to jump right into it. So here's my non-biased. It is solicited by the fact that I was given samples to review. And this is from the house of Sebastaine. Now, what I mean by non-biased is I am not awarded anything for these videos. I don't get anything outside of a few 1 mil samples that were provided for me to do the video. So excuse the darkness. It's a little dark here, and my lighting isn't working as good. So hopefully you can see this a bit better than what is showing up on my camera. Needless to say, I am going to jump right into this now. If any of you guys know the House of Sebastaine, and you can go right on to Fragrantica. All of his fragrances are listed there now. His name is Robert Elder. He's out of Pennsylvania. He is also a YouTube reviewer. Robert Elder. I don't know what he goes under in YouTube. I can't remember the page, but I am subscribed. Anyway, he has made, so originally he had two fragrances. Originally he had one. One was called was it Internal Metals? No, sorry, Immortal Metal. And then he later released Espresso Royale, which is a coffee fragrance. A few things about a year ago, I don't know, probably not even that long, 6 months ago, he had a few more fragrances in the working. They were Black Magic, Urban Legend, and Wish Upon a Star. I'm going to attempt to tackle all of these in about a matter of about 12 minutes total for the video. So I'm going to jump right into, let's go first. I'll go about how it's listed here, and this one is Espresso Royale. I think Boo actually did a video on this one, so I'm going to jump right into it. So here are the notes. In the top, you have rum. In a heart, you have coffee. You have hazelnut and caramel, and in the base you have tonka. So if you know anything about these notes, you would probably guess that this is a fairly gourmandish type of Oriental, and that it is. But I will tell you this: this is a coffee fragrance, and this is a coffee fragrance about as much as Cafe Noir is a coffee fragrance. This is coffee. This is dark, rich, bold coffee. This is a coffee fragrance. Yes, it does have some other notes, the tonka, the caramel, the hazelnut, which sort of makes it a spicy, almost gingerbread, cookie-ish type of feel. But needless to say, this is a coffee fragrance, and you must enjoy coffee. If you are looking for a bold, robust coffee fragrance, I would tell you to go for Espresso Royale. As a matter of fact, at the price point of about $95, I think you're getting a steal. I mean, this is superior to anything that Mugler has made as it relates to coffee. I see people buying that the Mugler coffee, $200, $150. This fragrance blows the socks off of that one. The other coffee fragrances, New Harlem and Cafe Noir. I would put this next to Cafe Noir, but I would probably find it a bit more versatile. I think people would like this one better because Cafe Noir is sort of a bitter coffee, and this one is more of a dense, sweet coffee. And I would say it may be better than New Harlem. But New Harlem has a little different things going on with the lavender, and it's almost like a maple syrup. So I don't know if New Harlem is really a coffee fragrance as much as this one. So if you like New Harlem but feel that it lacks in the coffee department, Espresso Royale would be a very, very good fragrance. If you think Cafe Noir is a bit too bitter, a bit too much, I think Espresso Royale is more rounded. So it's sort of the middle ground of New Harlem and Cafe Noir. Overall, I'll give this fragrance top marks from a performance perspective. Again, I got it in a dab, so I don't know, how much it'll really project. But dipping it on my finger and rubbing it on my skin, I mean, I smelled it up into the morning. So I would give this one high marks from a longevity perspective. I don't know about what type of bubble you're going to get from a projection, because again, I dabbed it on. Overall, from a smell perspective, I'll give it a high 9. This fragrance is really, really good. I think it's really from a price, 100 ml for $95. I think you're getting a really, really quality fragrance. High contents of oil. Smells very, very good. But again, you have to like coffee to go for this fragrance. The next one I'm going to go with is the one called Black Magic. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save Black Magic for later. I'm going to save Black Magic for maybe last. Let's get into Immortal Metal. So Immortal Metal was originally released in 2012, but after talking to Robert, he actually re-released this fragrance. And I think he tweaked it a little bit. Now, you would have to ask him how he tweaked it, but he did tweak it. So here are the notes. There's violet, there's blackberry, and iris in the top. In the heart, you have patchouli, cedar, vetiver, and grass. And in the base, you have benzoin, leather, and vanilla. Now, to get right into this fragrance, the notes would probably lend you to believe is heavier than it is. Now, it's more dense than a typical note, a typical grass fragrance. Grass, violet, iris, you're typically thinking of something in the spring, something a bit powdery, something a bit floral. This is floral, but the grass note really stands out. There's grass and there's vetiver in there. But what's weird about this fragrance is he sort of sweetened it up with the vanilla and the benzoin and added a bit of depth with the leather. I would tell you the creativity behind this fragrance is top of the line. It's sort of a mix of green, like a greenish violet, a floral iris, a very dense green grass. Think highline, think 212 in the grass component, but mixed with this dense vanilla, benzoin, and leather. Overall, I did this video before, and I'll tell you this, it was just too weird for me. Like the original fragrance, when he released it, I didn't find it. There was no reason for me to own it because I couldn't find any reason to wear it. It told on the line of feminine, but it was sort of green and sort of springy, and it was like sort of, I don't know how to explain it outside of, it was like being in a valley, in a valley with the ice melting above you, but you're in the South. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like it was just, I didn't like the way the notes came together. The reformulation of this is wonderful. So I'll tell you this: if you like the original one, I don't know if you'll like this one as much, because to me they're almost they're different fragrances as how the notes come together. I would give this, from a versatility perspective, I would give this high marks. I would probably give it about a 9 because I think you can wear it any time of the year. From a smell perspective, I'll give it about an 8.5. From a performance perspective, the longevity on this is superb, and it's really because of how the vetiver, vanilla, benzoin, how all of that stuff sort of fits into the heart and the base, so it's going to last forever. Some of those greener notes sort of die off after a couple of hours, maybe 3-4 hours. It starts to take a back seat to some of the heavier notes. But it is a great performer. I give it high marks again, and I think it is the only reason I won't own this one is because of Black Magic, which I'm going to do last. So I think if you're looking for something like, think of this fragrance. If you've ever smelled Enchanted Forest, but it just really wasn't, it was something missing or something too much, I think this one is superior to Enchanted Forest. I think it's a much better fragrance. I think he did a very good job with it. So my hat's off again to Robert Elder for this one. Next, we're going to jump into, let's go to Wish Upon a Star. So Wish Upon a Star, here are the notes. And if you notice, he uses this this berry note quite a bit. In this fragrance, you have blackberry and, give me a second. You have blackberry in the top notes. You have anise and blackberry. In the heart, you have, in the middle notes, you have violet, magnolia, and in the base, you have sandalwood, vetiver, and grass. This would sound quite similar from just a note breakdown to Immortal Metal, but this one tends to be a bit more feminine. Immortal Metal, I think, is a perfect right in the middle unisex. This one toes on the line of the feminine, and I think women would like this more. It's a bit lighter, so if you think Immortal Metal is a bit heavier, a little too dense, this one is actually a bit brighter and a bit lighter as it relates to a projection perspective. So I think this one would probably fit more into a feminine fragrance. Again, if it was a scale and unisex was in the middle, I would probably lean it just a little bit towards feminine versus the masculine. I think most men may find this one feminine. So, but the notes, the berry here is a bit brighter. The anise is a bit sharper, and it's a bit more powdery. The violet sort of lends more to a powdery note, I guess. It's a bit more floral, I guess. So overall, I would probably put this one, for me, wearing it and owning it. So I'm telling you, from that perspective, I would probably give this one about a 7, 7.5. Still pretty good, still ownable, but it wouldn't fit in my fragrance portfolio. But I do like it. I think it's a good fragrance. I think it would be a lovely, lovely gift for a woman. I just wouldn't find myself wearing Wish Upon a Star. Next, let's go into Urban Legend. Urban Legend. So, the notes for Urban Legend sort of took me by surprise when I actually smelled a fragrance. In the top, you have orange blossom. In the heart, you have vanilla. You have ginger. And in the base, you have tonka. So, here's why I say there's a couple of fragrances with ginger in it. It's Creed, Tabaron, Mélissine. Creed has another ginger one. And then there's a big ginger note in Long. This ginger is a gourmand ginger. Like when I went and searched, I said, ginger, and it didn't seem to fit right. This ginger is combined with vanilla to give this fragrance almost a gourmand type of fragrance. The tonka bean is heavy, but it smells very, very natural to me. Like when I smelled this tonka, it almost kind of gave it a chocolate, vibrant type of almost cocoa note in its fragrance. I would have thought that there was chocolate in this fragrance, but it is not. And I really think it's almost, this ginger is, he could have listed gingerbread and I would have not have guessed ginger. Like I would have thought, if I just smelled this on my skin, I would have thought of gingerbread, some vanilla, some chocolate, and some citruses. And that's what this smells like. It is a dense, so think of orange blossom, think of Sweet Redemption. Like if you've ever smelled Killian Sweet Redemption, if you ever smelled some of the orange blossoms and some of the denser gourmand winter fragrances, that's how this orange blossom is. Then there's a vanilla tonka gingerbread. It says ginger, but don't think of green spicy ginger. Think of spicy gingerbread ginger. It is gorgeous. Urban Legend is gorgeous. It is very kin to Espresso Royale, less the coffee. It sort of has that feeling to it. Like they're very familiar. Yet, so if you didn't like coffee, but you liked the rest of what Espresso Royale were doing, you may really like this fragrance. If you want coffee, go Espresso Royale. If you wanted something opposite than coffee, you would probably go with this one. It is a gorgeous fragrance. It is very dense. Smells wonderful. I think it's appetizing without being, so it's sort of sweet, dense without being edible, if you know what I mean. He did a really, really good job with this one. I would say performance, high marks. Versatility, I would have to say fall, winter. And I would say, as relates to overall smell, I'll give it about a 9 again. So this is one that I could definitely probably own. And it is a toss-up between this one and what I'm going to review next, which is Black Magic. So, I'm trying to get back to the notes of Black Magic. Give me 1 second. And all of these notes are coming right off of Fragrantica, where the fragrance is listed. So, this one, which is weird for top notes, but I'll tell you how the note pyramid is made. Tonka, vanilla, and amber in the heart, and in top. In the heart, you have jasmine, you have rose, you have blackberry, and you have frangipani. frangipani. I don't know. It's a flower. Have no clue what it is. Patchouli, leather, grass, and vetiver in the base. And this one, given the notes, you would probably think that it was a fall winter fragrance. This is actually this is sort of like Immortal Metal, but probably a bit heavier, probably a bit more dense, probably even I would say a bit better. This is I was surprised that I would like this one the most. This one I like more than every other fragrance that he listed. And actually, I think I'll own this one because I don't have anything in my collection like it. It's sort of like 212 meets a very almost gourmandish fragrance. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. It is extremely versatile. Like, of all the fragrances that I've listed, I think Immortal Metal was versatile, but this one is probably the most versatile. It's fruity, it's floral, it's dense, and it has this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous leather note, which is just like when the leather starts to unfold in this fragrance, it wraps around everything else. It sort of engulfs all the other fragrances. All the other fragrances sort of submit to it, yet they still all work in harmony. I don't know if I could put that in any better words than that. I don't know how I can articulate how well this fragrance comes together. It is unbelievable. The jasmine note is in there. If you're a fan of jasmine, you would probably like this one. The leathers and the base, it sort of unfolds. The grass and the vetiver sort of gives it a woody, almost spring accord to it, but the sweetness makes it beautiful for like a date. I mean, I think this one is perfectly unisex also, and I think women would like it. If a woman is looking for something heavier and sweeter, sort of out of the fruity floral gourmand and wants something with a bit more character, they would love this. And if a man wanted to get something to add, you know, a bit more florals, a bit more fruitiness to it, this would be a good pick. Again, I would probably give this one about, of all of them, I would probably give this one a mid nines. It is a 9 category fragrance. It is gorgeous. Very, very well worth it. You would think Tom Ford would have had his hand in this one. And I'll just be honest. I think Robert Elder has a very risky and beautiful nose. I mean, I would say that very, very candidly. I mean, I think and with all confidence, I would put his nose up against almost anybody in the perfume game. I mean, he is that good. So hats off to you, brother. You did a really good job with these. I'm really impressed. I did not like Immortal Metal at first. I think Espresso Royale was good, not great. But what you sent me, and if this is what's going to be bottled, then I will give you high marks. I would vouch for you and say that I think you have a bright, bright future in the fragrance world. I don't know how your marketing campaign is going to work. I would ask you to send these fragrances out to a few more people. I don't care what it costs you. Get it out to some pretty good reviewers out there and let them give their opinion, because I think these are special fragrances. So hats off again. I'm sorry I'm at 18 minutes. I went much longer than I wanted to. But Robert deserves the time, and he deserves the commitment, and he deserves my unbiased and fair opinion. So if I was to rank these, I would go, from my purchasing perspective, Black Magic #1, Urban Legend #2, Espresso Royale #3, Immortal Metals #4, and the last one is, I can't think of the name of it anymore. But anyway, that would be #5. So hats off to you, brother. Keep up the good work. Not saying that the bottom half is bad, just from my collection portfolio, that's what they would fit in. But definitely Urban Legend and Black Magic are probably going to be in my collection this year. So hats off again. God bless you. Have a great one.